Charity begins at home, right? Charity, something amazing, something virtuous, something good, something we as beacons can teach our children. What else is under the category of charity? If charity indeed begins at home, can we now say, is it safe to say that bullying begins at home too? On this episode of the Laurie Brand podcast, we'll be talking about something that's been flying around on a lot of social media sites and handles lately, especially here in Nigeria. We're talking about bullying. And the question I'm asking you today, really ponder on it. Are you raising a bully? Are you raising a bully? What is bullying? Bullying, according to self sketches, is the intentional, repetitive behavior of hurting someone or a group of people by someone or a group of people. You are intentionally hurting someone, you are doing it repetitively, and of course, it is very deliberate, right? And so, one of the and self sketches gives an acronym to make the definition of bullying really easy to remember. BOO, that's boo. It says you're being mean, you're doing it on purpose, and then you're doing it over and over again. So simply put, bullying is being mean on purpose over and over again. What are the types of bullying? Number one is physical bullying. You're hitting, you're kicking. I remember some very mischievous kids that would put banana peels on the floor so that someone would slip and fall down. Some people would maybe put vegetable oils, or maybe deliberately leave soapy water on the floor so that the other person will come and then slip and fall down. These things, hitting, spanking, kicking, all these things fall under the category of physical bullying. The next one is verbal bullying. You're battering people with your words. You don't hit. There's some parents that do not hit their kids, but oh my god, if you hear them talking to their children, you be cringe. Your words are so negative that by the time you're done talking to that child, the child goes and curls up in one corner of the house and starts to cry, broods over you've damaged, psychologically abused that child for years, so much so that your voice in their heads is, or minds, is one of negativity. So that if maybe in class a question is asked, the child will be so afraid of putting on up their hands to answer, because all they can remember is you chanting over and over again like a mantra, you're not good enough, you're inadequate, you don't know anything. Bullying. Are you sure it did not begin from you? Are you sure you you didn't turn that child into a bully? Are you sure, okay, that not the weapon that was formed against that child? Sometimes these things are unconscious, right? It's not like you want to, not like you're even aware you're doing it or that the children are watching. But like we always say here on the Lorry brand, monkey sees, monkey does, right? Let's go on to the next type of bullying. The next one is social emotional bullying. You go about telling people things about people. You know how bad news spreads like wildfire. This person said, that other person did. You really didn't witness it. You heard it yourself, and you know how whatever you hear gets diluted. Okay, if I tell one person to tell 30 other people the same thing, of course, the meaning will have been watered down or diluted or changed completely by the time it gets to person number 30. So you go about spreading rumors or gossips about people that are not just going to tarnish their image, they're going to really tank them. You see all these gossip sites. A lot of people are talking about how these bullies were raised in a certain place, how these children bully this, that, and that, and you as an adult with your full chest You hide behind a page. You cannot publicly come out and own what you are posting. Your friend will tell you something in secret, and then you come out, or you know something about someone secretly, and then you come out with your full chest and put it on a social media platform. Yet you are asking where the children are learning bullying from. When you yourself, you are bullying people by the things you are writing or posting or streaming about them. Social emotional bullying. The final one is cyberbullying. Of course, that's like the grand master of bullying these days, right? A lot of trolls will just come up on your page and put sinister comments, just come and say anything they like. They'll just come and be yanning up pattern on your post, like, because they'll get away with it. Nobody will know who they are. Some people are so cowardly that they will hide behind their keyboards, keyboard warriors, right? And post absolute rubbish. You are haunting somebody morning, noon, and night, because that's your full-time job, because you feel like you're anonymous, nobody will find you. You're sending texts, you're using apps, or sending emails, you're posting rumors, or of course you ask somebody, you catfish and ask somebody for pictures, then you blackmail them for a lot of money so that you won't publish these pictures or messages you had. These days, when personally, when I'm chatting with anyone, I'm very, 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 very careful. I do not use words that have suggestive meanings. I make sure that my sentences are not ambiguous, so that person A will read it and it will mean the same thing to person B too, because you don't know who is going to munch your chat and put somewhere. So cyberbullying, you're just capitalizing on the fact that nobody sees you to wreak havoc on the minds of people. Remember when Uncle Chris came on the podcast and he said the world has become so much of a global village that somebody can come into your home even when your doors are locked, even from many, many miles away, of course, through your internet connection, right? What are the signs that your child is getting bullied? Site to go made a very beautiful presentation of this, and one of them is loss of interest in hobbies. Your child ordinarily loved to sketch, to paint, to play football, because they are getting bullied. Their energy levels have reduced, their moral consciousness, or should I say competence levels, have tanked. They are now shying away from things that they used to love and enjoy. They don't want to watch the TV shows that they liked before. They just want to be withdrawn or isolated. That's a sign that your child is getting bullied. Isolation, of course. They want to be all by themselves. The shame from being publicly humiliated is making them want to just be by themselves. That's vulnerability. That's feeling just wants to make them stay on their own. Of course, they are fearful. They are very afraid. They hear any sound, they are scared. The way they see anything that reminds them of that feeling, that triggers the feeling in them, they are fearful. They don't want to go out by themselves. It's time to go to school and they're telling you, I don't want to go to school, because they are afraid of going, because of course their bully is going to be there. Change of personality or looks. He feels like when he gets tough, when he looks tough, when he acts tough, he's going to be to stop getting bullied. It feels like when he begins to watch aggressive movies or watch videos on how to fight back, he will stop getting bullied. It feels like when he begins to associate with a bad gang in class, or those that have been termed the bad ones, or NFA like we call them here, no future ambition, is going to stop getting bullied. He has changed in his personality. He or she is wearing a certain look or persona just to hide that supposedly weak person, just so as to protect themselves from getting bullied. Next one is mood swing. This minute they are very happy, the next they are not. They're switching from one mood to the other, because of course there's no joy in their lives anymore. Imagine having to spend most of your time in school and you do not look forward to going every day because you're afraid of what the uncertainty, right, of what's going to happen in school when you get there. Self-harm. Self-harm can be meal skipping, or actually physically cutting themselves or hurting themselves. They can just be telling themselves, playing the record to themselves, that they are weak. I'm weak, that's why I'm getting picked on. I'm not good enough, that's why I'm getting picked on. See, they're skipping meals because what's the use? There's no joy. There's nothing. There's no sparkle in their eyes anymore. There's nothing to really look forward to anymore, because what's there to look forward to when every time you're getting beaten up and battered or bruised, right? what really causes a child to bully. I've talked about what bullying is. I've talked about the types of bullies, the signs that your child is getting bullied. What causes your child to bully? Number one is, this may shock you. Your child is seeking attention. For a lot of children, negative attention is better than no attention at all. So in order to get you to say something about them, in order to get you to notice them, maybe in the classroom, maybe in the school, or even you as their parent, they go and do something bad, because that's the only time you go to their school, when the principal has called you or the head of school has called you to say, yeah, your child did something wrong. When they're having events or positive anything, you don't come around. So to get you to show up in their school, to get you to be there, to get you to be present, they do something bad. They bully people. They bully a child, and oh my God, finally my dad gets to come to school. Or finally my mom gets to notice me. So they're seeking attention. They want to feel important or relevant. So they bully others. Next one is need for control. A few days ago, oh my God, this really shocked me and cracked me up. Some kid said he escaped from class. And my daughter goes, is it a prison? Is it cell? Why will you say you escaped? And it got me thinking, is there really a difference between a school and a prison? Work with me on this. They go to school in the morning. They are behind closed doors throughout the day. A bell goes for them to go out. They spend a certain limited amount of time playing, and then they come back into the classroom. Sit down, stand up, don't go, come back. They take permission to go and pee and all of that. Don't mind me, I'm kidding. At the end of the day, these children are, should I say, stifled? They don't pick the subjects they are taught every day, right? They don't pick the activities they get to do. So they spend more time in school, correct? So the need for control just makes them want to lash out at people, lash out at others, because they're controlling the narrative, because they choose the person to pick on. They choose whether they would verbally bully or physically bully, or maybe it should be social emotional bullying for them. They choose how they want to carry it out. They choose where to carry it out. So that need for control is a major reason why a child may choose to bully. The display of authority, again, the environment around the school doesn't give them much room to be in charge, right? They are not so autonomous. They don't pick and choose, like we said earlier. They don't pick and choose what they do. So because they want the child in question, the bully wants to show authority. Yes, I'm in charge. Yes, I'm in control. I'm autonomous. They pick on people and then they act out the script. Of course, home trouble is another reason why your child would choose to be a bully. Maybe the parents just had a divorce, or they're separated, money problems, there are challenges in the home, and in order to feel in control, it's as if the child is losing it. In order to feel in control, like we've said, home trouble pushes them to lash out and pick on other people. Another reason why your child will be a bully is he's been a victim himself. Broken people break people. Hurt people hurt people. Of course, you have been verbally or physically abusive to them from the house, or they have been abused by other bullies before, so they want to do it to others too, because they are broken. Sometimes it's not because they deliberately or intentionally want to, or because that programming, that faulty programming is there already. That script is already running, unless of course there's a pause, there's therapy, the new information is now let into them, the child will continue to bully. The final one is peer pressure. I want to feel among. I want to feel among. I want to feel okay. I want my friends to feel that yes, 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 I belong. I mean, I'm good enough, right? You are in a certain clique and your friends are gassing you, are really puffing you up to go and do it. And why is this person not? Why is this person not doing that? That brings to mind the current video about bullying that's trending in Nigeria about the child that was hit and all. And then at some point, the child A was just asking questions, and then somebody goes ta ta ta. Then the slaps start raining in, right? Peer pressure. Probably the child had no intentions of hitting the other one before, but that sound just means that probably the script had been played before. Okay, when you get there, do this. And then because you're not remembering, I'm cueing you to do it. When Uncle Chris came to teach us about positive peer pressure, it is so that we prepare instead of repairing. A lot of Nigerians are very, very reactive. We wait for things like this to happen before we start running helter skelter to fix things that are already broken. How many glasses once broken gets fixed? If when we tell you as Vikings to parent differently, when we tell you as Vikings to model, to teach values, this is what we are trying to prevent. When you teach values, that is you being preventative. You're not stupid, really. It's not like you don't know what you're doing when you are sitting down to teach your child certain things. Train up a child in the way he should go, so when he's old he will not depart from it. So because nature does not allow for a vacuum, when you're not teaching them, someone else is, because you're not taking control of the narrative. I'm sorry, you're just going to make do with what they've been taught and prepare to repair whatever has been damaged or broken. All right. Another one is survival of the fittest. Because I don't want to be bullied, I'll start bullying other people first. Again, prison behavior, right? Forgive me, please. Because I don't want to be picked at by others, picked on, I get to do it first. Because if I show dominance, if I show that I'm in control, if I show authority, it will mean that I won't be that kid that gets shoved and pushed and beaten and battered, right? Survival of the fittest, whatever made them feel like they need to survive like that when they're not in the jungle. Who is a possible bully victim? There's the bully, and then there's the person who gets bullied, right? We've talked about why the bully bullies, right? What makes him do what he does. Okay, why does your child, okay, if is your child, you see that your child is the bully or the one that is getting bullied. If your child is not the bully, then why is your child getting bullied? Your child is not assertive. You've not taught your child to be assertive. Your child does not have a voice of his own yet, right? Because you do not allow them say no to you, they cannot say no to other people. There's a level of confidence your child will exude that will make a bully back down when they are trying to attack. There's a level of self-confidence that your child will portray that will make them really untouchable, because they know, this one, if you touch them, no, it's wrong. Of course, they can stand up for themselves, all right? When you're teaching them to be assertive and audacious, it is so that you'll be armed with the skills to stand up for themselves and say no and mean it. But charity again begins at home, right? When they tell you no, you're telling them, am I your mate? Before you know it, Sabina has collected hot slap. Lucas has gotten a big knock on their heads. If you do not allow them that safe space to learn by practicing, of course, because you are that authority figure. Remember, when it comes to bullying, there's always a power imbalance. There's that person who feels like he's strong and more powerful than the other. A bully will not go and pick on somebody that is more powerful or that is positioned as more powerful than he is, even though there are some people like that, right? So when your child does not have room enough to learn and practice audacious or to be audacious and to be assertive, they'll get bullied. The next one is your child has low self-esteem. Yeah, because their self-esteem is low, they are not assertive. Because their self-esteem is low, they cannot even raise their heads. They're very, very shy. Shyness is a trait too, right? That may be another reason why your child is getting bullied. Their social disposition. When you talk about low self-esteem, the person does not even, of course, does not believe in themselves, they lack self-confidence and self-worth, that child will get bullied. Non-conformity. There are people who do not just conform, they like to stand out, they're trailblazers. And there are people who have a problem with you being a non-conformist. Because you cannot, if you can, you know how they say, if you cannot beat them, you join them. Because you do not want to join them, since you cannot beat them, they have a problem with you. So they will go every length to make sure that you do not succeed at what you're doing. All right? These things are learned behaviors. You may be that parent who is not okay with somebody saying no to you. Your maid is doing something, okay, let's even say they are doing something wrong. You come out and then you are stripping them of every iota of human dignity that they have just because they are working in your home. And then your child is learning and is taking notes, and then your child is getting programmed. You see, before your conscious mind acts, your subconscious works first. So because unconsciously these things have been buried in them, their first response is to lash out. Their first response is to lash out. So when I say you should become a legacy conscious parent, this is what I'm talking about. When I say you should live today with tomorrow in mind, this is what I'm talking about. It doesn't take too much to learn self-control, right? It doesn't take too much to learn honor as a skill, to be honorable, to treat people as important and as special. Yet you talk down at your gate guard, you talk down at your housekeeper, you talk down at the children's nannies and expect for your child not to be a bully outside. So when your child does not conform, really, you have that problem on your hands, right? For whatever reasons, probably just being disobedient or stubborn or something. Probably doesn't really want to pick something from the floor. You see, your child will get picked on, right? They may not even want to do certain things that you want them to do at home because they are not conforming to your standards or to whatever you have said. They have now learned, or of course, they'll carry that behavior outside and they'll get bullied. The child is very, very introverted and is very, very shy. I'm sorry. She'll get bullied. He'll get bullied. But she was born that way now, right? What do you do about it? Why else are we here? That the child was born shy does not mean that the child cannot be assertive, cannot be audacious. Skills are taught, right? When you see something that could be potentially be a deficiency or a reason for your child not to thrive excellently, look for the skills, antecedent skills, and teach them. The last one is outsider or newcomer. Which person is just joining the school. The person does not, an outsider, of course, not conformist. You're not in that particular clique. The person is just new. That person has a tendency of being bullied. Probably the child has physical challenges or cognitive differences too. You see, it makes it look like a vulnerability spot for the bully to pick on that child. What is the impact of bullying on, number one, the child that's getting bullied, the bully itself, and on the society? Let's begin with the impact on the child that is getting bullied. The first one is psychological effects. Have you seen Suits? Louis Leet had his own bully, right? It got so bad that Leet he would not do the bidding of the bully, and by himself he would go and stay in the locker room where he was getting locked up in, because he has been broken so much that let me just take it. Let me just collect this punishment because I cannot even defend myself. Nobody will come to my rescue, right? I could not meet up. Let me just go. Let me just collect the punishment. It really, 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 really distress the child psychologically. You start seeing yourself as small. You start seeing yourself as not enough. Of course, it opens you up to a lot of vulnerability. You start shrinking instead of giving yourself the permission to shine. You start feeling insecure. There is a lot that bullying does to a child psychologically. The next one is academic performance. Your child is not doing well. The grades are gradually suddenly going down because, of course, they are not in the right frame of mind to study, let alone maybe write exams well, because they're not looking forward. There's not enthusiasm or joy or interest in going to school anymore. Sometimes our children just tell us, Mommy, I don't want to go to school, but because you want to go to work and there's no way where to keep them, because you're not paying attention, you just dress them up and insist that they must go to school. Of course, if your child is not performing well academically anymore, or as well as he used to, that child is getting that's an effect of bullying on the child. That should also be a sign that he's getting bullied. The next one is physical health. The child's health has deteriorated significantly, probably broken bones here and there, probably a black eye, No, that can be a very, very big effect of bullying on the child. There are the long term effects too, the psychological effects, if not dealt with, can be long term. It can shape in the way they see people, especially when power dynamics are at play. All right. The bully, how does bullying affect the bully? Psychological and emotional consequences. So, of course, that bully has been bullied before. That's why he's bullying. Or maybe the bully has is coming from a home that's having challenges. That's why he's bullying. Because of the causes of bullying, this child can also be affected. They're trying to exert autonomy or authority. They want to be in control. While that may be a reason, okay, that those may be reasons why they do it, it doesn't really fill the void. You understand? So they are taking care of the effect instead of what causing their urge or need or desire to bully. It's like someone who's smoking because they are depressive or they have issues. You are masking the effects, the depressive symptoms or disposition. You're not actually taking care of the cause of your problem. All right. The next one is social isolation. Nobody wants to be around a bully. Nobody wants to be around someone who makes other people feel small intentionally or on purpose. Nobody wants to be around someone who hurts other people, right? He will be socially isolated. The next one is legal or academic repercussions. I'm sorry, your child cannot bully my child, and then we'll now start speaking English over it. Because if you did everything well, if you were observant, if you took note of a lot of things, your child will not be doing what they are doing. All right. When a child, when you label a child as a bully, what we should go back to look at is, where are they coming from? Every child is coming from a home. No child was born a bully or a this or that. Yes, they may have had the capability to, the skill too was trained. It was learned, it was trained, and it was mastered. Of course, they were born with the talent. Maybe they were actually born with the talent, right? Probably because of their temperament, correct? But the ability to do it was learned. The skill, deciding whether it to be physical or verbal or social, emotional or cyber, is learned. Where to do it, a place where some people say there was no camera there. How did they know? The plan to carry it out, to execute it, to continue to do it, the consistency, the persistence in doing it, the continuous repetitive intentionality behind it is learned behavior that was perfected or mastered over time. So there have to be consequences for bad behavior, right? The wages of sin is what? Is death. By death, we don't mean physical death and all. Of course, it means that there will be consequences. Legal and then academic too. What if the child is expelled from that school? Of course, the expulsion forms will carry the reason why. Which other school, which other value-based school, who has the interest of their 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 students in mind, will admit such a child. See, you should really, 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 really look into learning a whole lot when it comes to parenting, so that you will not, your negligence or lack of attention, parental attention, will not be the reason why your child will be labeled forever. Especially now that social media is a thing, the internet does not forget. It will follow them for the rest of their lives. No wonder St. Paul said, I see myself doing the things I do not want to do, while I do not do the things that I want to do. Impact on school and workplace, it can undermine the trust, the cohesion and morale, learning or increased, leading to increased absenteeism. Now, when the child is not morally motivated to go to school, there will be absenteeism, right? They won't want to go to school, of course, that affects the school on the long haul, right? Because after having been absent for a long time, you will now be wondering, okay, what's going on here? Should I now maybe revert to homeschooling? The next one is economic costs. If your child is a punching bag and they now punch and break one rib, hospital now. For advanced countries that have insurance, it's taking its toll on the government directly or indirectly. So that's how it affects the society. You break people because you're broken, and then we have the father who is broken, who hasn't taken care of himself, who hasn't found himself, who doesn't even know himself. The mother who has also been broken, abused psychologically, sometimes even sexually, who's not breaking their child too. You see, if you have a society where everyone is broken, of course, to be like walking on eggshells or broken bottles, right? You'll be bleeding on those who did not cut you, and that alone will have a ripple effect on the society. You can go out and then somebody's just yelling at you because of one very tiny little thing that would have been forgone ordinarily. How is bullying learned? I've said it already that no child was born a bully or this or that or that. Yes, they may have the capacity or the capability to because of their temperament or genetic predisposition, but of course, every behavior is learned. So, how is bullying learned? Number one is modeling. Monkey sees, monkey does. Yeah, constantly shouting at your caregivers or their caregivers, at your mates, their nannies, the housekeepers. You're constantly berating those that are working for you. You're constantly yelling on top of your voice. There must always be fireballs. There must always be lightning and thunder. When you're coming, everybody's behaving themselves. Not because they absolutely respect you, but because they are afraid of what may happen. What happened to self-control? What happened to emotional intelligence, right? They see these behavior models and then they imbibe them, and that's why they bully. They learn bullying due to socialization and peer dynamics. I'm in a clique and my friend is bullying other people. They are getting cheered. I don't know if you've seen it in movies where the bully is hitting other people and then there's a group. There's always a group of observers, right? Those observers are cheering on the bully or they are booing the person that is getting bullied. Other people may see that power dynamic and want to do it too, right? They may see their friends bullying other people and getting away with it. It's giving them a certain high that they love and enjoy, right? It's giving them this show of authority. Or sometimes because you're bullying somebody to get their lunch, you're bullying somebody to get your tasks done, you're bullying someone to get their food. Because you want that too. You're seeing your friend do it and they've gotten away with it. You want to do it too. The next one is a family environment. We talked about authoritarian parenting, our parenting styles, and creating the right environment to be excellent. Please do go look for the video and watch it. Talking about watching the video, are you getting value so far? Have you shared with your friends yet? Are you I are you that person who finds value somewhere and then keeps it to yourself? Please, 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 please. You've heard it over and over again. Don't keep us as your best kept secret. Please do share this video. Bring in your friends and loved ones so they can learn from it too. You're a very, very harsh parent. You're very, very authoritarian, right? Your children witness you berating other people, witness all the aggressive behavior and aggression in your house. You don't model the right behavior to them. You don't resolve conflict very well. Of course, they'll carry this behavior outside, not because they want to consciously, but because of that's what's feeding them. They're absorbing it. They are learning. And then we'll get there when we come to social learning theory, right? So at the end of the day, they learn all of these things. They absorb them like a sponge, and they go out there and start to bully other people, right? The next one is media influence. Yeah, the media portrays a lot of rubbish. Pardon me for saying that. Rubbish as okay. We laugh over things that we should stand against vehemently, kick against, abhor as a society. It's these skits that are idolizing, sexualizing the woman's body, and of course, ignorantly you laugh. You're giving permission to these things to continue. You share, you enjoy them, you engage in the comments. You're giving permission for these things to continue. The child is seeing these movies or such things on social media, such skits, and they have so watched these videos that they have now gotten to a point where they get desensitized. They don't even know whether it is fictional or is real anymore or is non-fiction. So they get desensitized. When you first hang around someone who's smoking, you feel a certain way. But continuous exposure to that smoker will make you see smoking as normal. The same thing with evil. No, 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 no. This is not good. When you continue to live around it, it now becomes normal. Before you know it, you start acting it out. Media influence, the shows your children are watching can be where they are learning to bully people from. The fifth one is reinforcement and rewards. Like we said before, bullies are getting reinforced or cheered or admired or appreciated or celebrated for what they are doing. Your child may want that too. And then that's why they will learn to be bullies themselves. Albert Bandura talked about the social learning theory where people learn by observing, by imitating and getting reinforced for the behavior, right? They've seen something, they've observed it closely, they have learned it, they've become apprentices of that particular thing. That behavior will definitely be carried out to be practiced. So because of social learning theory, because of the fact that we as humans we observe and do what people do, of course, that's why your child will be a bully. Now, after having said all this, we've talked about what bullying is, we've talked about the types of bullying, we've talked about why people bully, we've talked about the signs that your child is getting bullied, we've talked about the impact of bullying on the child that is getting bullied, on the bully itself or herself, and on the society. How then can bullying be curtailed? Number one, know your child. Know your child. What are his temperaments? The temperaments may give them a certain disposition to behave in a certain way, right? Because your child is sanguine, that child may have strength of arm. The other aspect of knowing your child very intimately is, please, when I say intimately, please remove your mind from the gutters. I was talking to some people, it's not you. All right, thank you. The other aspect to knowing your child very intimately is the aspect of double or dual personality. You know, your child is very, very meek and gentle and all at home. And then when they get to school, they are someone else entirely. So when they report cases to you or incidents of what your child has done or is involved in, you'll be wondering, no, now, you'll be denying it vehemently. No, now, it's not my child. So if you do not know your child, that's a precursor, a very, very major one, to your child acting like a saint at home while behaving like the monster that he really is in school. Next one is, okay, we've talked about feed their self-esteem and ego. Yeah, you really need to make them know that they are beautiful, know them know that in their uniqueness they are wonderful, make them know that it's okay to stand out, to be non-conformist, to be a trailblazer, make them understand that having a great self-worth is very, very important. Next one is allow them to play fosters autonomy. According to AL said that play, okay, allowing children actually do things because of three reasons: because they crave connectedness, that's connection, right? They want autonomy, and then they want to be in control. They want to be in control. So when your child is allowed to play, it gives them these three things. They connect with other children online, right? Gives them that feeling, you know how we are very, very much social animals, and post-COVID a lot of things get done online. A lot of people do not go out, and because of everything going on around us in the society, we don't even allow our children, you know, when we're growing up, we used to go to playgrounds. There we learned social skills, then we learned to interact with other people. We had that avenue for connectedness. Our children are always mostly practically indoors. They come back from the school, they are inside gaming away their time, or maybe having screen time and all the things that keep them busy. So when your child goes online to play games, especially games that they can play with other people, right, multiplayer games, they have that feeling of connectedness. The autonomy is there. They're able to pick the games that they want. They're able to do whatever they want in that free time, little free time they have. And then for control, they pick the levels, they pick whatever they want to do. But in school, they don't have that. Most times in the home too, they don't have that. You could allow your child play at home, give them that free room. Now in my home, we have screen time, right? Before 10 a.m., you're not allowed to watch TV, especially weekends, and for school days is out of question. Weekends and during the holidays, before 10 a.m., there's a long list of things you can possibly do. Go and do them. All right. After 6 p.m., you're not allowed to watch TV. be bored till you go to bed. Find other things that you play around with. I don't really control that time. I allow them to do what they want to do, of course, guided, right? So at the end of the day, you're giving them time or opportunity to have those three things: autonomy, control, and connection. So that, because we don't even have time to play with them, sometimes they want to be around because we have work to do, they don't get to share that connection with us. You can build for them that formidable relationship with each other, so that whether you're there or not, they'll be able to play with themselves or each other, right? And play dates once in a while with their friends or classmates, or maybe a lot of people. Maybe I've met new people. You see, what we talked about, your network or connection as a parent and how it rubs off on your children. I've met a parent or two that share the same values as you. They have kids. Arrange for a play date so that they would have that opportunity for connectedness. Model self-control. We can never say this enough. Live today with tomorrow in mind. Live today with your children in mind, because your children are your tomorrow, right? Don't do things because you feel like, yes, I'm the adult here because I did it, right? Do it because, try to do better, because you are setting the pace for the next generation. You are a legacy conscious parent who's striving towards excellence every single day. Learn to control yourself. If you cannot, if you know in that moment that you are burning hot, keep quiet and walk away. Take time off. Discipline is not an emergency. Like when the Ologe will always say, take time off and go calm down. And then later you can come speak to the matter and talk from a place of calm, from a place of peace. Teach EI skills is the very next one. You must teach them empathy. You must teach them to be able to self-regulate. You must teach them to put themselves in other people's shoes. If you know that this thing you want to do to this person will, if somebody does to you, it will hurt you, please don't do it to other people. Remember that broken people break people, right? Hurt people go about hurting others. You teach them to be sociable, right? You see that it will go a long way, because when he is old, you will not depart from it. Teach them values, please. Their values serve as the anchor for them. If this person is a bully because that does not align with my values, I can't be friends with you. Let them be so engraved in their values that they can see something going wrong and speak up against it. There are always witnesses, there are always cheerleaders. There's sometimes that person who is recording that incident, sometimes that person that is gassing up the bully. That person may be your child. Sitting there and watching another person get hurt is as bad as hurting the person directly. If you can sit down and allow evil go on around you, then there's something also wrong with you. To teach them, give them values, so that if they cannot beat this clique, don't just run away from them, stay away from them. It is better to stand alone and stand for what is right than to join the group that is doing something that is wrong. Are they even okay? Do they have that healthy self-esteem enough to stay by themselves instead of joining other cliques that are doing something wrong? The onus is on us to set precedents for the kind of society we want to live in as parents. This bullying thing doesn't even end in our homes alone. You as a boss in the office can bully your colleagues. You as a boss in the employer in the office can bully your employees. You as a teacher in the classroom can bully your students. Finally, create a friendly environment in which your children can communicate with you. Things may be going on in their lives that you're not aware of, but because the environment is not friendly enough, it's not communication friendly, they won't tell you about it. Yes, teenagers especially may want to be laid back and drawn. The bond that you have with the connection that you have built over time can help take you through that metamorphosis or the changes that occur in their bodies or perceptions when puberty sets in, right? Always strive, always strive, always strive to be present, to be active, and to be a listening parent. Presence will not cover for what your presence would have done in their lives. Knowing that you are that parent who, if your child tells you today that something is going on in their life, you will do something about it immediately, would make your children or your child more confident to tell you when something is going wrong. But when you don't care, when they obviously see that you're not bothered about, you're not perturbed about what's going on in their lives, they'll be hurting and then living under the same roof as you, and you will not know it at all. Have you learned something from this episode today? Has it blessed you? Have you learned something from it? If you have you shared it with your friends? Have you left us a comment? What other ways do you think bullying can be curtailed? How else can we identify that our children are bullies or are getting bullied? Please do leave us comments, and so that other members of the baking community would learn a thing or two too. I was working out this morning and something kept reverberating in my head, my heart. This quote, I'm going to read it out to you. Fight for what you want today or fight what you do not want tomorrow. One talks about being active, the other one talks about being proactive, the other talks about being reactive. If you're fighting for what you want today, it means that you are being preventative. What you are doing here, you're learning skills, you're loading up your weapons or your arsenal so that on the day of battle you will not faint, because your strength will be a lot. But if you are not fighting today for what you want tomorrow, it means that you spend tomorrow fighting what you do not want. Let us stop being a reactive society. Let us start building things in place, putting systems in place that will help us have the kind of society we want. The society is made up of family units. If there are 200 million Nigerians, it means that each family makes up that number, right? So if as your family you have systems in place that help you learn maybe every month or every quarter, one thing about parenting that helps you build up on your skills. Come on now, you take upgrade courses in your career place, right? Your office is doing something about updates, you go for it, but you've never taken any course on parenting, whether it's on discipline, on self-care, on productivity, on organization, or time management, nothing at all. How do you expect to know what to do? How do you expect to begin to do better when you do not have the knowledge? Right? How do you want to have power when you do not have knowledge that will translate to wisdom in its application? We can never say it enough. As a parent, your learning journey never ends. You keep learning and unlearning and relearning, not for you anymore, but for tomorrow, your children. You become legacy conscious and you live today with tomorrow in mind. Thank you so much again for spending time with us on today's episode and for always showing up for us here on the Lori Brand podcast. We appreciate you, we celebrate you, and until we meet again in our next episode, stay excellent.